Transitioning from SAP ECC or other legacy ERPs to SAP S/4HANA Cloud, Public Edition is not just a technical migration, but a full-scale business transformation. It requires careful planning, the right strategy or combination of strategies, and executive buy-in, since it often entails re-engineering business processes to align with the new system. Let's outline key transition paths and considerations for companies aiming to embrace the public cloud edition. We will start with Greenfield implementation, new implementation. This is the most common approach for moving to S/4HANA public cloud. Greenfield means you start fresh. Design your processes around S/4HANA standard best practices, migrate only the necessary master and transactional data, often using SAP provided migration tools like the SAP S/4HANA migration cockpit, and do not bring over old custom code or configurations. Essentially, you treat it as a new ERP deployment. This approach goes hand in hand with the fit to standard philosophy. You would conduct fit to standard workshops, a key part of SAP's Activate methodology for cloud, where SAP's pre-delivered process scenarios are reviewed with your business and you determine how to configure them to meet your needs or what gaps exist. Greenfield can be a faster route to benefit since you're not constrained by how things were done in the past, but it requires willingness to change and a solid change management program to get your organization on board with new processes. Companies often choose Greenfield for public cloud because a system conversion, bringing over your existing system as is typically not feasible into a multi-tenant SaaS environment with strict standardization. Instead, if coming from ECC, you re-implement key functionality on S/4HANA Cloud. The good news is that SAP provides a lot of guidance, model company content, best practice process libraries to accelerate this, and also data migration tools to upload data from legacy systems. Greenfield also allows you to clean house. You only implement the processes you need and drop old customizations and workarounds that have accumulated over decades. It's an opportunity to start with a clean core and simplified processes. Next, let's look at selective or phased adoption. Some organizations may choose a phased approach to moving into the public cloud. For example, they might initially implement S/4HANA public cloud for certain business units, regions, or functions, while others remain on the legacy system in the interim. This can reduce risk by not big banging everything at once. One strategy is the two-tier ERP model, keeping the corporate HQ on ECC or S/4HANA private, tier 1, but rolling out S/4HANA public cloud to smaller subsidiaries or new branches, tier 2. This allows the company to test the waters with public cloud, standardized processes in simpler entities, and create integrations between the two tiers. SAP provides packages for integrating S4 to S4. Over time, the core could then move to cloud as well, or new acquisitions can be quickly absorbed by putting S4 public cloud in place for them. Another phased strategy is to move module by module. For instance, start with implementing SAP S/4HANA Cloud for finance while leaving manufacturing on the old system, then gradually bringing more scope into S/4HANA Cloud. The public cloud edition has integration capabilities, APIs, integration content on SAP Cloud Integration, and so on, to enable coexistence during such transitions. The challenge here is managing a hybrid landscape, but it can be worth it to mitigate risk. Companies should ensure strong integration and master data governance when operating in a hybrid mode. Let's now review a key consideration on preparation and process harmonization. Regardless of which implementation path, preparation is key. One critical pre-project step is to analyze your existing processes and customizations. Tools like SAP Business Scenario Recommendations or Process Discovery, now part of SAP Signavio offerings, can help identify how your current ECC system is used and where you might simplify. Many organizations take time to do a cleanup on ECC first, archiving old data, standardizing processes across subsidiaries, maybe even implementing some best practices while still on ECC so that the eventual move to cloud is smoother. Adopting standard SAP processes often requires alignment across business units. So starting that conversation early is important. Another preparation aspect is data. You'll want to clean master data, customers, vendors, materials, and decide what historical data is needed in the new system versus kept in a data warehouse or legacy archive. Simplifying your interface landscape, how many external systems connect to your ERP ahead of the move can also help, since the public cloud will use modern API and might not support older interface methods. Let us now consider leverage RISE with SAP for transformation. A key offering from SAP to assist in the transition is RISE with SAP. In brief, RISE with SAP is a subscription-based all-in-one package that bundles S/4HANA Cloud Edition, infrastructure, and transformation services under one contract. SAP markets RISE as business transformation as a service. It includes the S/4HANA software. You can choose public or private edition as part of RISE. Cloud infrastructure. SAP manages the hosting on its own. Data centers or hyperscalers. System operations and tools like the SAP Business Technology Platform for extensions. Crucially, RISE also provides access to tools for the migration like assessment tools and credits for SAP Signavio for process analysis and so on, and one set of SLA for the entire stack. If your goal is S/4HANA public cloud, RISE with SAP can offer the public edition in a subscription along with these extras. Many existing SAP customers, especially larger ones, have chosen RISE as a way to simplify their journey. It removes some complexity of dealing with multiple vendors and provides SAP support in re-architecting for cloud. It's described as a fully managed service to accelerate cloud adoption, designed to provide a simplified migration path. Even though RISE is often discussed in context of private edition, it indeed covers the public edition as well, with different tiers like RISE Public Edition Base or Premium that come with certain pre-configured content. Engaging with RISE with SAP can be useful if you want SAP to be more accountable for the success of the move. You essentially work closely with SAP and/or a partner under the RISE contract to plan and execute the transformation. RISE also bundles credits for SAP BTP, which will help in any side-by-side extensions or integrations you need to build. And it includes access to SAP's business network, starter pack, Ariba, and so on to add value. In short, RISE with SAP provides a guided, supported path for moving to S/4HANA Cloud and can reduce some transition risks by putting everything under one umbrella. For mid-sized companies new to SAP, there is also GROW with SAP, a program similar to RISE but focused on net new implementations of public cloud, offering pre-configured packages for a quick start. The existence of these programs underscores SAP's commitment to getting customers onto the cloud by making the journey easier. Let's now consider change management and training. Moving to S4, HANA Public Cloud often implies significant change for end users and IT staff. End users will encounter the Fiori interface, which is a new experience compared to SAP GUI, and they will have to adapt to possibly new process steps, since you might do things the SAP standard way now. It's important to plan a comprehensive training program and maybe use SAP's Enable Now or other tools for creating tutorials for the new system. On the IT side, your developers and basis folks need to upskill on new paradigms. For example, learning how to build extensions on BTP instead of user exits in ABAP, learning how cloud security and authorizations are managed. SAP offers learning journeys and certifications for S4 HANA Cloud, which can help build that knowledge internally. The project team that implements the public cloud should include key business users to champion the change, and possibly external experts or SAP consultants who have done S4 HANA Cloud projects, since it has some different accelerators and methodology like the fit to standard workshops and use of SAP Cloud LM for project management. Change management cannot be overstated. Since the public cloud enforces certain process standardization, some stakeholders might resist losing their familiar custom transactions or reports. It's vital to communicate the why, the benefits of the new system, and get leadership support to drive the adoption of standard processes. Many companies run internal campaigns highlighting how the modern ERP will empower users with better analytics, mobile access, and so on, to create a positive mindset. Next, let's look at technical integration and extension strategy. As part of your transition plan, design how S4 HANA Cloud will fit into your application landscape. Identify all the systems that need to send or receive data from ERP, warehouses, e-commerce platforms, legacy applications, and so on. SAP S4. HANA Cloud Public Edition primarily communicates via APIs and SAP Integration Suite. You might need to rebuild some interfaces using modern protocols. Plan out your integration architecture early. SAP provides pre-built integration content for many common scenarios, especially if the other systems are SAP Cloud products like SuccessFactors, Ariba, Concur, and so on. Similarly, list any gaps where you anticipate building extensions. Perhaps you have a unique scheduling application that must tie into ERP that might be a candidate to reside on BTP and use APIs to fetch or update data in S4. Having a clear extension and integration strategy ensures that when you cut over to the new cloud ERP, all necessary satellite systems will work smoothly with it. It's often beneficial to simplify the number of integrations by retiring obsolete systems if possible during the move as part of the overall transformation. And finally, let's consider data migration and cutover. Develop a robust plan for migrating data from your old system to S4 HANA Cloud. The migration cockpit provided by SAP allows upload of data via predefined templates or direct transfer from an ECC system for certain objects. Data to migrate typically includes master data, customers, suppliers, materials, GL accounts, and so on. Open transactional data such as open invoices, purchase orders, and possibly some historical data, though many choose to not load a lot of history instead, keeping the old system read-only or extracting history to a data warehouse for reporting. Since the public cloud has quarterly release schedules, you will coordinate your cutover possibly around one of those, but SAP gives tools to refresh test systems so you can rehearse cutover steps. The go live approach could be big bang, all users switch to new system on a chosen date, or phased by entity, but within one public cloud tenant, usually it's a big bang per tenant. Thorough testing, including user acceptance tests on the standard processes and integration tests, is critical. The advantage is that with a largely standard system, you test against known SAP best practice scenarios, but you must ensure your data and users execute them correctly. As the organization transitions, it's important to also address the shift in IT and business operating model. In a public cloud ERP scenario, the role of IT transforms from being system builders to service brokers and orchestrators. IT will work closely with the business to prioritize which new cloud features to adopt. Each quarterly release comes with a host of new capabilities. Not all may be immediately relevant, but some could be game changers. There's an ongoing innovation and adoption cycle to manage, reviewing SAP's release highlights, training users on new features, and deprecating any workarounds that a new standard feature might replace. The business, for its part, needs to get comfortable with more frequent incremental changes. This can actually increase user satisfaction if managed well, since users see continuous improvements rather than waiting years for a big bang upgrade. But it does require a mindset of continuous learning. Another aspect of the new model is governance. Because things like extensibility can now be done by key users via in-app tools, companies should set up proper governance to avoid a sprawl of inconsistent extensions. Having a cloud center of excellence or similar governing body to oversee configurations, extensions, and integrations will ensure the system remains clean and the business units don't inadvertently create silos or undo the benefits of standardization. It's also worth highlighting that SAP provides tools like SAP Cloud ALM, Application Lifecycle Management, specifically for cloud customers to manage implementations and operations, monitoring incident handling of the S/4HANA cloud environment. Using these new tools and following SAP's recommended best practices for operations will help IT efficiently handle the cloud ERP post go live. Many tasks that basis teams did for on-prem, like daily health checks, applying OSS nodes, and so on, are reduced, but new tasks like managing quarterly update testing, whitelisting new Fiori apps for users, and more come into play.